You can own 5 rental homes in just 5 years, even if you're starting with a small amount of money. There's a simple strategy that makes this entirely possible. It's called the BRRRR Method. In this video, I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to walk you through real deals using simple numbers and give you a step-by-step plan that you can follow every single year. So first off, what is BRRRR? Well, it stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. That means you buy a house that needs a little bit of fixing. You make it nice through a rehab. Then you rent it out to someone who takes care of it at a much higher rent than it would have gotten in its shit condition. After that, you go to the bank and you get a new loan because now the house is worth a lot more money. You put money into it, it's gotten nicer, you have it rented out. Then you know what you do? You do it all over again next year. If you do this once a year, in 5 years, you'll have 5 houses. Now, guys, I have done this over and over for the last 20 years, and it's gotten really popular as of late, but guess what? 20 years ago, banks literally laughed at me. This is a story I always tell. I went to a bank to do it in an apartment building. I was like, listen, I'm buying this apartment building. I want to renovate it, increase the rents, and come back for more. I left the meeting. They said no. Years later, one of the guys in the meeting, we met another event. He goes, how's real estate going? I said, great. He's like, you know what? I got to tell you something. I said, what's that? He said, when you left that room, we were like, what is this idiot doing? Why is he buying crap properties to renovate them? That was frowned upon back then, and now it's the thing to do. So let's use an example. Let's say you find a home for $250,000. Now, you might sit there and say, Paul, it's impossible to find in my area. It doesn't matter what the number is. The whole point is showing the math of it. The bank's going to require you to put 20% down. So you have to come up with $50,000. Now, if this is a high number for you, I get it. And we have other videos where we explain how you can get this number. But I always tell people, start with a partner. That's what I did. My family and I partnered together. But the great news is when you buy a single family home for renovation, you don't need to put all of this down. You can put half of it down, $25,000. Now you might sit there and say, well, Paul, I saved all that money. Well, hang on a second. Use the other money to put money into the home. You borrow $225 from the bank. You put 25 grand into it. Now, I'm not saying that's a lot, a little, whatever, but the biggest things to do are kitchens and bathrooms. That's what people love. People want to see clean kitchens, nice bathrooms. And I show in other videos how you can spend a few bucks here and there to really make your place pop. So let's say you put that $25,000 into it. You're into it for $275,000. Your original $250 plus the 25 grand. But now go to the bank. Maybe they say, oh, your house is now worth $350,000, hypothetically. It's nicer, it's new, etc. And they're going to give you a new loan at 80% of this value. So what's this new loan? Well, if you put 20% down, they're going to let you borrow 80%. 20% of 350 is 70,000. They're going to let you borrow 280,000 bucks. Guys, if you remember, you put 275 in the whole property. You just got all your investment back on one loan. You got your down payment, you got your renovation costs, and that's what you use to go do it again. Guys, now there's a 1% rule in real estate where if you can, whatever your value of your home is, you should be able to get 1% of the value. I think that's low. But even here, if you're able to get $3,500 a month in rent, you are going to kill it. Your mortgage payment every month on $280,000 with taxes and insurance and everything, it's going to be roughly $2,500 maybe. And you got $3,500 in rent all day. You got $1,000 a month of which to pay for maintenance, repair, and put money in your pocket. But remember, you now have a piece of real estate that you're paying down debt on. It's increasing in value, and the cash flow is increasing every year. Because guess what? 10 years from now, your rent's no longer $3,500. It's probably more like $5,000. But guess what your mortgage is? It's exactly the same as it was today. That's the benefit of real estate. Your biggest expense, your mortgage, stays the same for a long period of time while your rents go up and all your other expenses, which is a portion of it, the smaller amount of your expenses, go up along with it. That's how you build that wealth. And 30 years from now, that $350,000 house could be worth $800,000 with zero debt. So you got all your money back. You put 25 down, you put 25 into it for 50,000, but then the bank refinanced you within 1 year, gave you all your money back, and you woke up with $800,000. I want you to think, every time you buy a house for $250 that you put 25 into, you basically gave yourself $800,000 in retirement. So if you want $8 million in retirement, do it 10 times. You want 4 million in retirement? Do it 5 times. Every time you do it, you make $800,000 in 30 years. And guess what? This doesn't include the cash flow along the way. This is purely the value of the property and the debt 30 years from now. Guys, you don't need to do a bunch of houses at once. In fact, I don't want you to. What I want you to do is find one fabulous deal every single year. Buy one, fix it, rent it out, refinance, then buy another. After 5 years, you're going to have 5 great rentals, steady money coming in, and those properties will keep going up in value. Guess what? One thing I want you to do that's different than other people is don't live off the money. Sit there and use that money to invest in more real estate. Because guess what? Every real estate investor that I saw that lived off their real estate income ended up having crappy real estate 30 years from now. I teach the opposite of that. I want you to retire with freaking beautiful real estate that you either sell at high prices or you still continue then to live off of. And I will tell you something else. Every time you refinance, that's tax-free money. You could actually just refinance one property a year in retirement and live off that money tax-free. That's what's so incredible. Now, one other thing that people don't do. People always say, I did a survey once on Twitter, and I said, hey, if you had properties, would you want to have the cheapest rent in the street, middle so you're competitive, or high so that you blow everybody out of the water? And the vast majority said they want to be under market or at the market. I teach the exact opposite. I want you to have the highest rent on the street. That's my goal for every property I have. If I can't do it, I do not buy it. Does that sound counterintuitive? That's the point. Higher rent brings in better tenants, less maintenance costs, and they stay longer and they take better care of the home. That's what I want you to have. Guys, I go to Zillow and I go to their rent estimate. I love it. You know why? Because every single property I own has rent at least 15 or 20% higher than the Zillow rent estimate. So I just know that everybody's below market, or their property is so crappy looking, they have to be that low. That is not my goal. I want you to make your place shine. Simple upgrades, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, tile backsplash. Those small things can really change the whole look and feel of your place. And if your rental is always full, guess what? That's not a good thing. I hope you really heard that and said, wait, did he say that right? Yes. I don't want you to be 100% full. I want you to charge higher and higher rents until you're about 90% full. That's how you know you're maximizing your dollars. This isn't about rushing the process. It's about having great quality assets. It's about being smart. Don't buy the first house you see. In fact, the first thing I'm going to teach you is find 10 houses that you want, make lowball offers on every single one of them, and hopefully you get rejected by everybody. I want you to get immune to being told no. Because my mistake that I made when I first bought real estate was I fell in love with my first property. I had to have it, so I overpaid. That's the problem. But how you build wealth is being smart and concise. If you're going to buy one deal per year, be patient. Find the right deal, not just any deal. Now, there's a smart way to measure how good a deal is. It's called IRR, internal rate of return. Don't worry about that fancy name. It just means how much money you can make on a deal. Now, IRR cares about how fast you get the money back. So as an example, let's say you have an investment and it makes $1, then $2, then $3, then $4. Let's say you have another investment that makes $4, then $3, then $2, and $1. They both made $10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. But this IRR is much higher. Why? Because you got more money back early. IRR tells you, hey, as you get money back faster, that deal is better because you can keep on doing it. That's what I love about real estate deals. It's all about looking at the IRR and reinvesting the money at certain rates of return. When I find a real estate deal, my goal is a minimum 15%. Spoiler alert, because I have enough real estate, I've actually increased that significantly higher, and I only buy the great deals that I want. My best real estate deal ever, I paid over ask price for it, and it makes me over 40% IRR because I bought the right property at the right time, having the right information. Well, how do you calculate this? Very simple. I created my real estate calculator. This is the software that I use to buy millions of dollars per year in real estate. My company used this to buy over $30 million last year in real estate. I've bought $14 million in single family homes for high-end rental using this software. The reason being is I found out that when I was doing back of the napkin, I was actually being too conservative. But I find that a lot of people are too aggressive and they might not factor in the right expenses. And they sit there and look at it going, oh, I can make $100,000 a year. Well, yeah, but if you put $5 million down to buy it to make $100,000, it's not going to work. If you put $50,000 down to make $1,000, it's not going to work very well. So it's a good way of keeping yourself in check, both from overpaying and losing too many deals because you're being too conservative. Now, the great news is this software is available. You can get lifetime access to the tool right now. One-time payment, lifetime access. Click the link in the description. If you're even thinking about buying one property this year, this thing will pay for itself many, many times over. Now, one of the biggest things that people tell me about, third-party management. Now, what does this mean? People say, you need to focus on buying. You need to have a professional property manager manage your property. This is the worst idea ever. If you're not going to manage it yourself, do not buy real estate. Property managers suck. I have hired and fired 10 or 12, and every single time I fire them, my revenue goes up, my expenses go down, and my customer satisfaction goes up. Stop falling for that BS. Third-party man, I don't care who you are. If you look right now at me and say, well, you're just not hiring the right property manager, you're the sucker at the table. It actually aggravates me when people try to tell me that property managers are good. They're not good. They want to keep a property full. They don't want to increase the rent because they want to generate more and more money for themselves at less work. And 1 year or 2 years at a time, not a big deal. But you do that over a 30, 40-year period, it's serious money out of your pocket. No one's going to care about your property the way you will. No one will care about your money the way you will. I got suckered in by property managers saying, I look at your property like it's my property. They do not. I've worked with countless property management companies and they all sucked. Some sucked less than others, but they all sucked. So if you can't manage the rentals yourself, or if you can't partner with somebody who's going to put money in the deal and manage it for you, then don't bother buying real estate. There's other ways to make money. Not as good, but there are ways. Guys, this method works in the long run because you're not just buying homes, you're building freedom for yourself. In 30 years, you could own 30 properties. Large chunk of them are paid off. These homes bring you thousands and thousands of dollars every single month, and you can sell them, live off the money, give them to your kids, or refinance them and get those proceeds tax-free to live off of. This BRRRR method is simple. Buy a home, fix it, rent it, refinance it, and repeat it. Do this over and over again, 5 years, 5 rentals, and have cash flow coming in every single month on your way to financial freedom. Now, this video gave you a nice big picture. Our full course gives you the complete system. You'll learn how to find great deals, analyze properties step by step, and avoid common mistakes. So just click the video on the screen to keep going. It'll save you a ton of time and a ton of money. Go learn from my mistakes. Thank you for your time.